A little bit wider.
Yeah.
Can you show the sunrise?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good morning, Osho.
Good morning.
Have a look at the sun. Let's show view also. Yes. 360 degrees.
Here comes the sun.
Da 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 dum. Here comes the sun. It's alright. Do 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 do.
I'll sing this song, yeah? Prayer. may I? To the sun. Yogeshwaraya Mahadevaya Trayambakaya Tripurantakaya Trikagnikalaya Kalagnirudraya Nilakantaya Mrityunjayaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Mahadevaya Namaha Mahadevaya Namaha Mahadevaya Namaha Mahadevaya Namaha. Wow. That's nice. I heard this song from Sadhguru for the first time. He uses this song as an invocation of his whatever it is.
Triambakaya, the one who sees with 3 eyes.
Yeah, it's like a journey. Like he goes through a journey. With this song, he reaches the Mahadevaya. You know, like Mahadevaya is the ultimate awareness. Yogeshwaraya. Yogeshwaraya is the one who practices yoga. That means he's still in practice.
And there was Mritya.
Mrityunjaya,
Who was that?
Mrityunjaya is the one who conquers the death. Like who survives the death, you know, like. So, welcome to 2021.
The first sunrise
Welcome.
of 2021.
Welcome.
I shared something on Facebook yesterday as a greeting for the new year, which I found very significant. It's about instead of struggling to be certain, let's be friends with uncertainty. You know, and what is certain, what is uncertain? Okay, like just to introduce the topic a little bit. When you're dreaming, let's say you go to sleep and you're dreaming, is there anything certain about that? I don't know. I'm not certain about anything. I just know I go to sleep, I start dreaming, and the dream has its own way of unfolding the mysteries, everything. Something here, when I wake up, it looks like it would be hard to say what to say if it is not a dream. Like it's the same thing, you know, like you're waking up, you think your eyes are open and you look at things all around and it's like a dream, but there is something inside here wants to be certain of things. So I just want to, I don't know if the topic is clear here. Yeah. So a dream, the basic ingredient of a dream is uncertainty. There is nothing concrete about this. It can go in any direction. It can be a beautiful dream, it can be a nightmare. Yeah. The same way what we experience here is also the same. You know, there is nothing certain about this. We know that the sun comes up every day. Okay, we are certain about this, but it changes. Yeah, maybe sometimes the sun will be there, we won't be there. So there is definitely uncertainty there. Like we came today, there were clouds. You know, like
The fog.
so. What inside us wants to be certain? Who wants things? Like wishes the things? Who desires the things?
Yeah, what's that voice that wants the certainty?
Yeah.
And why do we want certainty? Is there any certainty? Like, is that illusion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it important to be certain about things?
Well, it's almost like expecting the water to always be the same in the ocean. I mean, every wave breaks differently. Every tide is different compared to the, in relation to the moon, and the surface conditions are different because of the winds, and the shore cuts the break of the wave in a different way in the different places. So it's sort of like asking the ocean to be the same. I mean,
Can you
Yeah.
be more certain?
Can you please bring waves of 3 meters? Wait. No? Can you put it
this
down?
Much, this much. No,
This
no,
one.
that's too high. That's too high. Then
Can you
try
turn it?
again.
There you go. He's gone again.
You're
No,
in the
you're not
clouds.
reliable.
He's there behind the clouds always. This is certain. But what do we have certain for sure in life? There's something will definitely happen. Is there something? We
Yeah.
all know.
I think one thing that is certain is we all die.
We're all gonna die.
yeah,
There
we
is
all
no doubt
die.
about it.
We,
I mean, the body will die, at least to
Yeah.
say.
well, we all have needs, right? Those are, and not necessarily calling them certain, but they are. I mean, as long as we're on the planet, we all have certain needs.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know,
Yeah.
like many of us need just security and safety at a certain point, right? To I guess feel safe, right? I mean, or is that the big illusion?
And that's another illusion of
Possibly.
safety.
You know, is that,
The safety comes from, let's say, a prediction about the future, right? If you
Yeah.
don't bring the future in, where is the safety? If I am living totally in the present moment, I don't have any mind about the future. I don't have this capacity to think about the future. Let's say somebody hit with a rod on my head and I lost my mind. Yeah?
We've been questioning things that, like,
All of a sudden,
certainty of
let me boil.
Oh my God,
Wow.
I'm going to record it. Sorry, Osho.
That's so cool. All of a sudden, the wind hits. It's like a cloud of uncertainty.
We speak about certainty.
Cloud of uncertainty. And this
Wow,
wasn't.
that's really.
It's just temporary cloud.
I'm certain of it.
Everything, yes, there are certain things here. Everything passes. This too shall pass.
Wow, this is.
This happened before.
Okay, welcome, Anson. Well, welcome. Uncertainty.
Brother.
Oh yeah. We're talking about certainty. If you like to join the talk, or uncertainty. This is weird. Just somewhere. A lot of thought, right? It's weird.
New experience. Hey. You're enjoying this experience.
Imagine if we all now fall down there.
Man, that's a nice windbreaker. gonna go on the edit. Huh?
It's gonna go away. It's already gone.
Imagine if we all just fall down right now.
Nothing will happen. We'll roll like grasshoppers, like beetles. You know how the beetles they roll?
All of us.
Oh, we could make that happen if you like.
Like, imagine if we planted this place and we all go down.
How close is it? I can see it.
Can you imagine if somebody comes up, pick up the planet Earth, and they put it like this? What's gonna happen to all of us?
We're gonna go up and down.
We're already there.
Well, I don't see behind in my tent.
And it's
move this
over
back?
now. That's it. It's over. You see?
That's
Quiet again.
Certainty,
Just the
uncertainty.
teeth
Oh,
are
it's still
still
on.
It's
breaking
recording.
noise.
I just want to see the view.
Good. Yeah, do you wanna?
Yeah, because then I'll just
So
go on.
Guys,
we
you
can
come
turn that
closer.
around.
Do you want to be in the? We are making a video.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, maybe we can do is put to the side and we get a side view. You know, so that.
Let's go to tripod. Center tripod.
There we go. We have tail. You have to squeeze in a little bit tail.
A little closer.
A little bit closer.
Ah, okay.
Okay, we are back again. The cloud is gone.
I think you can squeeze in a little bit maybe more.
Yeah, yeah.
You're in? Yeah.
I love this.
Graham, if you squeeze in a little bit,
I just don't.
well.
Okay, princess.
It's console of an hour. A little closer, guys. Just a
it's a
little.
little.
We have a wide angle camera.
Don't tell you blanket
it's
is
just
so
wobbly.
warm. I can feel
I
it.
can feel it as well.
Yeah, you can feel the heat from there.
The heat is coming out of you. And
Okay.
behind. Oh, look at this.
We'll continue the topic. We are talking about.
It looks like we're gonna fall.
You can join here, okay? You can tell what you think about this, yeah? We are talking about what does it mean to be certain? What does it mean to be uncertain?
Do you know what certainty is?
You wake up in the morning, sometimes you know you have to go to the school, that is certain, right? But sometimes you wake up, you don't know what to do.
You're sliding.
How do you feel?
Yeah,
Don't slide.
Excited, huh?
it's going like this.
He just is watching you lift at you and slides down.
No, it's going like itself. Maybe it's just slow.
So what do you think?
Yeah. What do you think? Do you understand what I'm saying? With certainty and uncertainty? Like when you don't know what's going to happen next. Do you feel okay?
Yeah, but what do you mean about certainty?
Like I said, what are you going to do today for the rest of the day?
Just sit here or sit in the campfire?
So there's so many things you can do. But you're not certain what you're going to do, right?
No.
You see? So this is uncertain. But certain means if I say, okay, I'm going to take my car at 8:30, I'm going to drive back, I have to take a shower, go to work at 10:30, then I have a lunch break at 12:30, I have files to submit, I have reports to make, you know. I come back evening, I have the yoga class for 1 hour, I'm going to meet 3 friends there, you know everything what's going to happen for the rest of the day. You're so certain. Does it make sense here? Yeah?
That's a lot of information.
So that's what we are talking about. But in a broader perspective.
Like a
There is
turtle
no one day,
pajama.
there is a full life here.
Look, you're a turtle, are you? Or lizard?
I'm a lizard.
Or snake?
I love
Ah,
lizards.
you're a
Oh,
dinosaur.
cool.
I love lizards.
Lizard.
Yeah,
They're cool.
man.
Do you want to go down or you are planning to go down?
Are you certain about it?
I'm not certain.
You certainly look like you're going down.
trying to
I'm
get
uncertain if you survive.
I'm trying to get up. I'm trying to get
Okay,
up.
so let's get you back up. Let's take you
I'm
back
sinking in the sand. Oh no.
But that's a great question. That's a great question.
But the question is about what inside us wants the things to be certain. So there is certainty, uncertainty. What inside us craves for certainty. Like insurance.
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that, Carol?
I think as a human, we have this very tendency for a need to make things fit. We, as conflict is not something psyche is used to doing or used to being comfortable with. So assurance is something we need to kind of make happen. We have to affirm things around us that confirm that that's the right way to go, or otherwise. So I don't know. I think it's part of our makeup that we have to be assured, that we have to be affirmed that this is the right way to go. Uncertainty makes us uncomfortable. And that uncomfortableness is I'm not sure it was hardwired or it was just something we strive to, or we need. But yeah, for me, sometimes we make that assurance in the quickest way possible, because comfort is where we need to be. And maybe that's source, I'm not sure. Maybe that's not so much source, maybe that's it's a fundamental need, but yeah, I think
That's interesting, fundamental need, and where does that come from? And is it like, sometimes is it our ego speaking that it needs it? Or is it that survival brain, that reptilian brain that's in the back of our head that, is always trying to measure risk to ourselves, right? That amygdala that's always going off, red alert, something's happening. Or is it something, a product of the, let's call the agricultural revolution, so to speak, where, we've become more sedentary and agricultural society, where once we were more nomadic and, risk was there every day. The certainty was not there every day. The food product coming in, and you found what you found, and you went with it, and you're grateful for it. And did one branch of our family, decide to start farming or whatever, and that's the predominant, mindset that is here today.
a very good point. But then you look at evolution, don't you? You look at the evolution of the depth of acknowledgement. Like, again, we're making it fit. We're making it fit to where we are, why we are, who we are. But I think it's a very good point. Where risk once was a part of life, does that take us to where we are now, whereby we want to be risk not tolerant, risk aware, but we want to close that gap. Great point.
Always looking to de-risk.
Yeah.
Or the other movement is, we want everything certified. I want this certified pre-used car.
27 checks. It will work definitely for 5 years.
That certainty is
Yeah.
part of life.
We'll pay extra
Just
for it.
one moment, like certainty, it's a part of life, as we say, is a part of our life, individual life, like in ourselves.
Sure.
But when you look at the life around, like as we look the life around, if you walk in a jungle, or if you walk in a forest, or in the desert, it's gonna go down.
Just go down and come back.
Certain that there's gravity.
Yeah.
Fully.
Gravity's
Yeah, but the last year we have witnessed one of the major things in our lives. I think it's a very rare phenomenon, like a little invisible thing, how it changed the way we lived, we are not flying anymore, we are not traveling anymore, we are locked down, uncertainty.
And some people would thrive on that.
Yeah.
Those who live a very rudimental and routine life, believe it or not, beg for those uncertainties because that changes that are not within themselves. And what I mean by that is you have people who are very sit on the cusp, okay?
He nearly threw me off the other side.
No, but what I'm trying to say is this, we were so certain that life is gonna go this way, we're gonna go to 2050, but then something comes, like invisible thing, it was never existed before, it came into existence, and it changed many things about us. This is uncertainty.
Yeah.
So life can bring any simple event which can change the way we look at things. This is also uncertain, right? This
Yeah.
is one thing which I have learned personally about 2020. We have so security systems, we have insurances, we came to a point that the temperature is always 24 degrees. We are so sure of life, people are living longer, more than they should be maybe, because of the technology we have. But then this thing comes, nobody knows what it is. Till now they're finding the ways, it is changing its courses, we are supposed to wear masks, nobody knows if it's really effective. Now they say it's airborne. If it is airborne, how far it is controllable. So I'm just saying about the uncertainty here. So life can bring in things, and it can bring the uncertainty into factor.
Well, and they even go to make formulas for risk, right? And so when in security studies, when you are going to propose a security measure, you make a formula for that level of risk that you're dealing with and the cost, right? And you translate it into cost, and then if the cost is lower to implement than the risk itself, then you implement it, right? Because it mitigates the risk. So it's amazing that we've gone to that level of really trying to find that certainty of and uncertainty and mitigate it.
And very often we have, I think, categories of risk, as we say, are risk aware, but also risk tolerant. You're aware of the risk, but you let it happen. With a sense of uncertainty of what's to come, but comfortableness with where you're currently at with that risk, which is a kind of precarious place to be sometimes, because you're not sure what's going to happen, but you're comfortable with where you sit right now, so you tolerate it. But there's an uncertainty as to how that can develop, how it can manifest, how significant the outcome could be. But where you're at currently, you sit, because nothing's really giving you any indicator that there's a imminent risk, but you know there is. So that risk tolerance can be a precarious place, but I think we all live that. Like this current situation.
Now, if you look at animals, let's say, like the animals, like dogs or even pet animals or the wild animals, and then we are so sure about things. We manage the temperature, we manage the risks, everything. Let's say a dog lives for 14 years. Okay, it has been living for 14 years, it is still living for 14 years. And we have made so many changes to our lives as human beings. So human beings used to live longer, they say, yeah, naturally, without having any vaccines before, like when we were in. But now, as we progress into this generation, we have so many things to take care of, just to go, like. But where have we reached when compared to wild animals? Like they are still thriving. I mean, some are getting extinct because of natural evolution, let's say. But are we making any better? Like, as we see, we are more suffering than before because of ailments, no?
Well, in our striving for that certainty, we create risk for other things. So we're transferring risk.
Right.
Not only are we mitigating it, not only are we avoiding risk, not only are we accepting risk, but we're transferring that risk onto the planet in many ways, so for the things to operate in a certain way for humankind, the environment.
Like, for example, air conditioning.
Air conditioning, yes. Takes a toll on the environment because of the pollution or whatever, the chemicals used for ozone, whatever, that affect the ozone. We take our food supplies, like we want a lot of meat. It creates a lot of methane gas and a lot of carbons right into the air. So these are all trade-offs, and then I don't know, maybe some of the runoff from the plant goes into some weird river or something, from a meat packing plant, and what does that do to the river, right? I don't know, just some thoughts.
But I really like it. In our efforts to seek certainty, like, even if I have to drive faster, the reason I want to drive faster because I want to live faster. I want to be competitive from other people. So I invent things which are in benefit of me personally, but it's not necessarily good for the environment. It's a very good point. I like Mark. Say something, dude. Really handsome.
There's a lot of thoughts running. I mean, I'm listening. I like to listen and observe, and then see how my mind is. Well, there is. Where is the fear? In all of it? Is the fear the main reason why we're looking for certainty, or is that ego who wants to know what's next? What's the reason for that need to know?
Just to give it a little bit of I like what you said now, is there are two things which seek certainty. One is the fear within us, that the fear obviously comes that I don't want to die, okay, or I don't want to get sick, I don't want to lose things I have. Or there is an ego which is like a control freak, like it wants to, everything to be on the timetable as per the time, and to make sure it is happen, you bring too many systems in place. Yeah. So the certainty, is it a fear generated institute, or is it an ego generated institute?
Yeah, it's like they feed on each other, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would like to connect back to the topic. I mean, we are still there, but like where we started the topic is the dream and the waking life, let's so to say. We go to sleep, we dream, okay, and as long as we are dreaming, nobody can say it is dream. Only when you wake up, you realize it's a dream. Okay, because there it comes. Come here, Lola. Lola. There is a person you need to say hello. See, there is an eye.
Slide!
Take your foot off the camera. Okay, now go. You're not going? Okay, I'm gonna give you a hand. Come back.
It's so high.
You like it? You're like, oh, everybody's here. Okay, Boo, what do you think about uncertainty?
Say hi.
Are you certain, Bobo, that you're in good company? Are you
He's
uncertain
excited.
about
I
where
never
you're
saw him so
going?
excited.
Whip.
I dare you to put Boo down there. No, Boo-Boo's I dare you to put Boo down there. Let's fly.
So this is uncertainty. You see? Boo Boo, be certain. Come here.
Are you going? You going?
So
So the concept of
the concept, you know, like
I gotta go to another mountain.
let's say we are dreaming right now. You know, like here, sitting. You're all part of my dream.
That mountain there.
Lola. Excitement.
Come on.
Go see him. You go good.
That's naughty Grania.
Not good.
What is that?
Naughty Grania.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Ooh, is it you, Cassie?
Yes,
Go check and see.
it's not the man who had the guitar.
He's here. That's not the man who had the guitar.
Ah.
The man who had the guitar is here.
Okay, I'm going to be joining your brother in a second if I don't get my...
It's outside. You slide down.
He's still struggling to come back.
We're having a really...
Come back.
Lola,
It's
we're
sinking
having a
here.
really important discussion with you.
You'll have to cut this out.
Mark has a lot of work. Maybe put it on. People have time and watch.
That's very interesting, yeah. Live show.
Here, he slides down. They don't let him go. I'll go to slide and a big mountain. Up. And then
So exciting.
You know what, Lola? If you go barefoot, it's much easier to walk here. You see, we are not wearing any shoes.
Take off
Yes.
your shoes.
50 cents.
50 cents.
You found 50 cents? That's very good.
Hello.
Now I lost him. Jesus Christ. No.
Jesus Christ.
Who did you pick that one up from?
Yeah.
It was his birthday last week.
Thank
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We'll turn this camera or move it down here. How about that?
Now it's called. Are you not able to come up here? You're just pretending, yeah? I know.
No, I'm sinking into the sun.
I'll show you a better, easy way. You know, you can go that path, then you can come up from there.
I
go
know
that
I
way.
wanna go this fast.
Okay, cool.
Let's just sing first.
Mama!
Hello, everyone.
Mommy!
We got everybody, right?
Monica, put
You
your
sleep
shoes
well?
on.
Yeah.
It's cold.
It's okay. I was quite awake.
Hmm?
I was kind of awake. You slept well.
No snoring?
Yep.
A lot?
Come
or
to
no?
I was quite loud in the
up,
beginning.
up.
In the beginning, yeah. I
Ah!
try to. Wow, good catch.
Ooh.
I would have caught that.
Oh, master.
I would have caught that if it came down here.
Yeah,
You
maybe.
would have, yeah, you're the goalkeeper.
You would have. Yeah.
I'll go and get
I think I took the blanket with me.
How does this look?
Come a little closer, maybe. This is yours, Grania?
No, this is Mark's.
No, we have everybody in the picture though, right?
Grania, can you go?
Let's sit in here then.
No to ja nie wiem jako.
drop me the water bottle
I
down.
think we got
Laura
everybody.
is not in.
Potem Saja chciałby nie. To the background.
Let's bring it over.
To the background. No.
Sitting over there. Who said it? Who did it?
Mama's here. She's like, who upset
Yeah, I think
Laura?
this gets just about everybody
Maybe ask him.
this way.
Mickey Mouse was kind of out, but not really. It must have been too cold.
I saw Mickey Mouse when I was driving to drop Shrinika. I saw two were dancing on the road.
Okay.
Are you smoking yesterday? You saw Mickey Mouse?
I didn't see Mickey Mouse. I just saw the footprints in the tail.
Ah, okay.
Mickey Mouse used to actually come and play with it.
Did you sleep okay, Monica?
Okay.
Good sleep?
Oh, thank you.
Where's Lola?
We're up a few times with Lola, of
Lola is
course.
going
I
there.
heard that, yeah.
Like in 3 o'clock again and then 5.
I heard that. Hang on, I don't want to stand up.
You
the
almost made
blanket,
it.
so I'm being really.
Halfway through. You do look like a lizard now. Proper lizard in the desert.
With sunglasses.
Yeah. Sparkly white teeth. I brushed my teeth. I've been showering. I'm ready for the day.
How cold is it? A little
I'm
wet
gonna go to
after
sleep.
the fog.
So, Monica, good
Yes.
morning.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good.
We're talking about uncertainty and certainty.
Come closer. So we're all.
Uncertainty and certainty.
Yeah, everyone's just sharing their thoughts on that.
Well, what's an appetite?
Can I have some water?
I don't know.
You can warm up while others talk, you know, get inspired.
Grania, have you any thoughts on certainty versus uncertainty?
Okay, let's put it a tone, you know, this is what,
Nothing is certain.
Nothing is certain, yeah?
except
That's
one
true.
thing.
One thing is
Death.
certain.
Yeah.
Because we will die one day.
Yeah.
But apart of it, nothing is certain. That's true.
Even though, is death really certain? Because do we really die?
Well, I think-
Question.
And we have seen people dying for sure.
Yeah, physically.
yeah.
It's all relative, really.
We said
None of us have actually died yet.
But
That's true. You know, we can. There's that uncertainty again
No, I'm gonna get up.
is raised, right?
Pomali príde a dviezme tu vode, ja som svedla.
But what is death then? Is that
Save your water.
the transition? Transition and change is certain, I guess, to some degree, right?
Travel the 500.
You know, whether you're a liquid or water or gas or an element, right? It's all, there's stages of transition, just like we are stages of in transition, you know, human beings. Oh,
Hey, boo boo.
good.
What do you think?
Truck passing by, he's in his duty.
He definitely says nothing is certain. You need to watch out.
Can you be certain in intent? Like if you're setting an intent for whatever purpose or whatever activity, is that flag in the sand a certainty for you? Uncertain as to the outcome, but the intent can be
Oh yeah.
marked. You know?
Like direction?
But what is the need behind this intent? Where is this?
Not the need. If you like, we talk a lot about setting intent for. That's my intended direction. So that certainty within you is your. I would like to say hope,
Well,
because it's more definitive than hope, isn't it? If you set an intent that's really kind of solidifying what you want to do. The outcome could be uncertain, but at least the intent is a certain intent for you. So there are, that's quite an interesting area. The outcome can be quite different from what you intended, but your intent was certain.
it got you there somehow,
Yeah.
and somehow you might have perished or landed on your feet and were wildly successful. You know, it's or those people that you know, those warriors that chain themselves to the earth or whatever, tie themselves to the earth they're certain they want to fight, but the outcome may be not very certain whether they'll survive, but they'll definitely probably fight unless someone doesn't show up to fight them. Or like you're saying, the intended consequence is different than the intention. So initial intention, like Columbus wanting to go to Asia, and he runs into America and calls it India or whatever, right? That's sort of, yeah.
He thought it was India, and they call American as India. Wow. I didn't know that. How did the name Ireland came from?
In the night. I thought it was someone snoring. and I thought,
Ireland
"Oh,
is the English version of her name, Era.
Era.
I think it used to be Hibernia. And
you
according
after
to
when you
like
fast
the
the
Latin
second time. It was very funny. But Bubu,
reference,
Bubu
but it
is
was
snoring
probably
these
named
days.
by the
Not
island
too much,
next
but-
door.
Oh, and Laura had
Most
in a
likely.
moment in June.
Yeah.
But actually it's Era.
Can you take picture of them, Sundar, if you can reach?
Yeah. To run there.
Just zoom in.
I send Theo maybe. Theo, do you want to go take a picture from there?
Chodź postawić, by się odchodzić.
Oj. I did this about 2 times. It's really tiring because the sun sets you
But you're only ever as certain as what you understand or perceive.
No.
Yeah.
So, there is, let's say, the body. When we speak about the body is like a vehicle. If somebody hits him, he fall down. That's it. Yeah. But there is somebody who lives in the body, like a driver. Yeah. Who wants to make sure. Okay, I don't want to destroy this body. I need to take care of it. I need to go. There is a driver who is cautious. Yeah. You can call it as the amygdala. It's an inbuilt feature of the body which comes with taking care of itself. We don't have to tell the body, say we have this instinct like any other animal. It knows to find ways. You might put this body in very unfamiliar situation, it will find a way out. So it comes with a built-in feature. But beyond that, there is a person who is paranoid in his body, who doesn't know about this, let's say. Or maybe he knows too much information. Oh, there are snakes in the desert, there are lizards, there is no starvation, there are so many. So this person has so much of information of the mishaps that happen in the desert, and he is panicked. You see? Now these two are walking together. The body which knows that it can make its way as in the best way, and there is a person who lives with all the information he has gathered. He's living in this body, and he wants certainty. It comes back to what you said also, So I want to open this, like, do we know that there is a person who lives who is uncertain? Like who is seeking certainty is that coming from his fears.
Yeah. Taking the sum of their experience and living in their mind about their imagined fears, like carrying those imagined fears throughout life in all instances, and equating situations that may really not be a danger to one and raising it to the level of a crisis. And I think that's, all that talk of PTSD and has a lot to do with that too. And I think it's more a conditioned response that's enabled by the ego's attempt to find that certainty and safety beyond of what's really present in the here and now. It's like carrying these neural pathways that have been built up that have somehow equivocated, or not equivocated, but made it equivalent to seeing patterns that they either see as real or imagined or somewhere in between that equate to uncertainty and danger. And carrying that with you throughout the life, and going back to that default network mode brain that gets in that groove of thought, of fear.
So instead of dealing with all these uncertainties, should we deal with the person who lives inside? You know, when I first went to Oman, I saw this beautiful ocean, like roaring, you know, with all the, what do you call those birds? Flamingo, not the flamingos.
Seagulls?
Seagulls, yeah, playing. And then there was this urge to jump into the ocean, but then there was a pause. What's there inside? You know, like. So do you see that? Like uncertainty. There could be something inside. Huh?
Did you watch the movie Jaws?
Yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah. Something like that, you know. All these things stay in our head.
Yeah.
And then they stop you from going towards the natural instinct. You know, the natural instinct was pulling you inside, come. But then there was this...
But where was this?
In Sur. He wasn't there. So there is an excitement that is coming from life, but there is something inside us which is pulling us back. Be certain a little bit. It sounds very familiar. It sounds very like it's rational mind. You know, you cannot ignore that because whatever it says has a point. Of course, you know, there can be rocks inside. You know, like there can be anything inside. But who is this voice? That's what I want to know. You know, like where are you coming from? Because you don't know what's there inside for sure. I've never been there, but you're already telling me there could be something inside. Like, who are you?
Can I just make a point that, like, if it's a roaring ocean and there's a ripping current, do you still want to jump in?
Did I use the extreme words? I should have used some polished words. It's a very beautiful ocean, you know, like nice waves inviting. Sorry, I'm not so poetic about this. I said roaring.
It's not about being poetic.
But it was very nice. You know, you could go and have a nice swim.
It's placid.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe you're thinking about the white beach which we went, you know, which was
No,
really
I'm
like
thinking about a roaring ocean, and I'm thinking that's nice.
the
But
choice of words, you know.
like, you know, there's a certain level of intelligence where you decide if you want to jump in or not as well. Like, I wouldn't completely dismiss the ego or whomever is sitting there going, maybe just check it out first, and then jump in. But if it's literally a beautiful, pristine ocean, then by all means, off you
But
go.
I want to take a pause here. See, when this natural pull came, this is actually there. The invitation to go there was there. You know, if there is something like fire, I wouldn't get so excited. Oh, let's jump in the fire. You know, like no, I wouldn't do that.
That's good.
Yeah, but there is an excitement coming from life. Okay, the whole body, the amygdala didn't stop me. Okay, because it was sure. Okay, go. I know, you know, swim. You know, I can bring you back. You know, like. But then, the accumulated information inside me, it triggered like the uncertainty.
Almost double questioning your own amygdala, your own body knowledge, your own heart knowledge, your own perception. There's that mind,
The animal instinct, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't just saying.
What's
Question.
amygdala?
The reptilian brain.
it's like the little piece of a brain that is like your alert center that says alert, alert, alert.
Fight, flight, danger.
But to finish that story, you know, I actually did jump in the ocean. It's such a beautiful experience. The water was so light, was so refreshing. I enjoyed every moment of it. I came back, you know, with such a nice feeling. If I would have heard that voice, if I had believed in it so strongly, it would have stopped me from going in there. I would have missed that moment of enjoying that nice, lovely experience of immersing myself in that ocean.
Yeah.
With the uncertainty of
Yeah,
not knowing
yeah.
exactly how it would end up. But
But who defined the uncertainty? It was that voice that second guessed you.
You said that, the Jaws movie. It's one of the voice, you know, like the movies which we see. And the parents who stop their kids from, with their own fears. Hey, don't go there, they pull you back. You know, the friends. They are all this accumulated voice inside the head.
And it's interesting that the ocean analogy there, and it transcends to our personal relationships, right? So
Right.
it's like when we have an urge to maybe, connect with somebody or be real with somebody and say, I appreciate you because you have been a great inspiration in my life, or, I just appreciate your presence and your beauty and your understanding, and we hesitate to say that because that, again, second guessing that body knowledge, or that seeing somebody that might need a little bit of attention and care, and wanting to put your hand around that person and give them some confidence, right? And reassurance yourself, because you sense they need it. And then that thing goes, well, maybe they would take it the wrong way, or, all these things, right? So that's also...
It's a very practical example,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there ever really any such thing as certainty?
This is what we are talking about. I mean,
Really, if we can put it in a broader sense, is there anything we can ever be certain of out with what we were previously mentioned? We're all going to die.
Physically, we're going to die.
Physically, yeah. And this vessel is going to cease at some point. But anything, is there any other example that anyone can give that kind of indicates the certainty of certainty?
Maybe gravity to a certain point, but I know that shifts too, right? There's
I was thinking that.
What were you thinking about that?
Well, the same thing that you were saying, gravity, but even that's not, like, that's only as certain as it ceases to exist.
Yeah. Whereas uncertainty is abundant.
yeah.
And uncertainty is attractive.
It's really adrenaline driven. I'm telling you from my personal experience, when I quit my job and I started having this huge shift in life. Like, when I was a job, there was certain. I have holidays, I have my time, like everything is certain until then. I have exam. Even when we go back to the university, things were certain. Okay, I need to look for a job. But once you come back out of the job, okay, there is the pattern which you changed, the way you live. But you wake up to the morning, not sure of what's going to happen. Opportunities may come, opportunities might not come. There's a lot of time on your hand, what to do. The mind is not used to this uncertainty. It went crazy for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
There was so much of time, but there is no boss who's going to tell you what to do, and it's very confused, what to do. It was like first it went through a kind of a guilty thing. You're wasting your time, you should be doing something. But then what to do, okay, let's make an Excel sheet of doing things, it wants to organize itself, it wants to be certain. Okay. It took me more than a year to get over that period and to come into uncertainty. Okay, life will tell you what to do. Okay, but you're not sitting on a couch wasting your time, you're preparing yourself. So this is one example of how the uncertainty feels in the body as a chaos, and the one who wants certainty in the mind is not used to this, and he drives us crazy. It goes to kind of stress, panicky, sometimes anxious. But then when you get familiar with this territory, now I see the desert. Before I used to, what's there behind if I go in the dark? But now I'm familiar with this feeling of uncertainty. Okay, I know who is talking there. Let's go for a walk. I'll show you what's behind. And we always come back with a greater adventure. I think with uncertainty, if you ask this way, what makes a travel different from adventure? It's uncertainty. Okay, if you put certainty into adventure, it's travel. You know where you're going, when you're coming back. But in adventure, you don't know what's there on the next turn.
Yeah, if you really want to have adventure,
Yeah.
right, you don't plan, you just sort of go. You have an intention, right? It's not all laid out, and that intention may change as you go. You go to one place, and then you had maybe thought of, if you were traveling and you had another destination, well, maybe you meet another fellow traveler and they say, well, I'm going, over to, the mountains. And so you shift your focus and maybe you go with that person to the mountains, look at all the opportunities.
The dynamics.
Yeah, and maybe you go somewhere that wasn't in any travel guide, that's what we're looking for sometimes, is that that place that's not on the map.
I love what you're saying, because I feel it in my body when you're saying. When I went to these kind of travels, like there was a high level plan, because but then you stand there and you have this flexibility. I can change my plan anytime according to the situation. It's a new energy in the body. You said it's on a motorcycle. I have, let's say, 5 days, but I don't know where I'm going. I'll take the turn, whatever invites me. There's so much of excitement, waking up in new places. I think that's what it feels to be a friend of uncertainty.
Embracing that.
Yeah.
I would go back to intent. Intent can be your milestone, but intent adjusts as you progress. So everything is interchangeable.
I would also add to this is intent is also necessary to deal with the certain mind. If you're totally uncertain, there is no need of intent. A part of me still believes in certainty, so I'll give the intent as a biscuit. Okay, what is your intent? Okay, I'm going to travel for 3 months. Okay, let's go there.
Okay, but...
And then I will bring the uncertainty outside.
One thing to do that, let's say, in a really developed country, right, where, the roads are all certain, they're mapped, everything is, every corner has a McDonald's, right? So, and you know exactly what a milkshake is supposed to taste like, right? And you map, that's one thing, but let's say if you do go to some part of the world that's not that way, so it's a big difference, right? To have an adventure in a place that has sort of been gridded out and developed versus, and not that you can't find adventure in those places, because if you look, you will find it.
Of course.
But it is a different sort of feeling,
I think that's why people prefer to go to Asia when it comes to change of life. I'm enough done with my structured life. Let's go to India.
Yeah.
You will see.
What I was thinking about is probably a description that you mentioned, Sunder, is like the traffic in India and how it moves, and how everything's completely unpredictable and uncontrolled. But then I was thinking about actually the intelligence, or the way, even though it's unpredictable and uncontrolled, you get from A to B anyway without necessarily having an accident. And then if you look at a developed country where everything is controlled, and everything is monitored, and there's speed radar and there's red lights and that are respected.
Animals not coming on the road.
Okay, so they don't have cows in the UAE.
Monkeys.
They do have cows in Ras Al Khaimah, by the way. One. And then, so are we dumbing ourselves by over-controlling and disabling our ability to respond to certainty by creating too many safety measures in which that we then don't activate our intelligent response to be able to cope with situations that are beyond our control, which what we don't realize is everything is beyond our control anyway. So then it probably, it's not so much about embracing uncertainty, but it's about embracing trust.
It comes to this generation, if you see, where kids are not playing outside, they're playing on the video games. Okay, it's certain, nobody get injured, okay? Like there is no danger here, no bodily injuries. Yeah. But this body comes with a lot of abundant features of dealing with so many things. But when we are not using them, the body becomes unintelligent. We are prone to fall sick. We cannot handle new situations. But there are consequences of what you're saying. Like, we can, if we control or we regulate our life in such a way that there is nothing wrong gonna happen, we are destroying something which is very fundamental, the body's ability to be intelligent. We see it in cats, by the way, like when the cats, they live in home, the cats that live in wild, even the dogs, so to say, they can smell so far, the wild, the stray dogs. But when they eat the controlled food, the controlled environment, they don't care who's coming and who's going out. Look at the dog sleeping here. His alert system is active. He's so sensitive now, because he's in the nature. Put him in the house, he doesn't care because it's a controlled environment. So in a way, we are trying to secure our lives, but like the water that flows underneath the carpet, we don't know the consequences that we are making our whole, we are becoming prey of psychological diseases like depression, anxiety, stress, and we are getting stressed for very silly reasons. Like some people not finding their mobile,
Yeah.
I feel like the more safe an environment we create, we have to have a consequence, cause equal effect. Therefore, the more unstable an environment we co-create, because you need to create safety in order to combat unsafety. Therefore, for example, the kids going out to play, I grew up and I was able to go out and play. Like, I had to tell my mum where I was off to, and then that was it. Off we went. And I, reported home at the end of the evening because I had to go to bed or whatever. But I didn't, I wasn't kind of confined to a space. There was certain caution that my mom used to say, like, don't talk to strangers, or fine. But otherwise, there was a network of like other kids out on the streets with the same kind of, we were just out playing and having fun. But now it's not so easy to leave kids outside on their own. First of all, the way we design the urban space, it's restrictive.
the apartments, right on the roads.
So, and then the dominance of the vehicle, and then the rise in, not child abductions, but even sort of pedophilia, etc. All of these risks are now more pronounced than ever. Therefore, all the safety that we've co-created in the same space, unsafety. So as we continue to become more intelligently safe, there will be bigger hazards because we are blocking and disconnecting probably the normal pattern of humanity by locking them up into urban jungle.
Great point.
So guys, it's 8:12. Let's
Time check.
time check.
When did you ever check time?
No.
It's time for us to go and
It's
have
like
breakfast.
the 1st of January 2021.
No, I'm just
New
checking.
Year.
I'm not saying to go. I'm just saying a time check. Is everybody okay with the time? Like a timekeeper.
Well, I have a job for the men. Fire.
We make fire.
Yeah.
Meat.
So for someone who's still in that fear of uncertainty, what would be the best way to start?
Read Rumi's poem first. I love this poem. I really wanted to bring it. Thanks for bringing this.
But in what context?
Forget safety.
Oh, this one?
Be notorious. Destroy your reputation. Live where you fear to live. And these words are coming from a man who is so heart-oriented, How can a man be so compassionate, speak these words? Look at the contradiction. Why he's saying forget safety?
Well, because I think in order to improve, we have to take risks, right? To learn. And that's where the Shams of Tabriz, his faithful companion, urged him on to take risks and to defame himself by going into bars and ordering drinks, etc. So I think that is really important to go out of our comfort zone, our certain zone, and move into the uncertain zone, venture off, and everyone has their level, what they're willing to do or are capable of doing too. Like if you ask someone to go into the water and they don't know how to swim, right? That is more certain to be maybe some problems there. They may not have the confidence level. So how do we train ourselves to go into that uncertainty? And it's first with that intent of moving into the uncertainty, knowing that it's going to benefit us somehow, and preparing ourselves in however we can to deal with the changes. So like if you're gonna go play jazz, You gotta learn some basics, scales. You need to know basic, you know, I guess, yeah, know how to change your scales, right? And depending on the flow of the music. So there is some basic preparation that may benefit that venture into the unknown.
Right.
I think it's about willingness. I think it's about willingness to take that step into the unknown, and then you can equip yourself to be able to cope with the unknown, because that is the capacity of the human to be able to do so. So say okay, I see a beautiful ocean, I want to jump into it. I cannot swim. I can stick my toes in the water as a starting point. I could ask someone to teach me to swim so I could experience it, and that can be my effort of stepping into things that are not certain to me, because it teaches you how to then deal with the situation. And that's what, like, that the intelligence is partially inherited through our ancestry about how to react to specific situations. Like I don't know if you remember the TV program that we watched about nature where the egg hatches.
The snakes, huh?
And the snakes are all waiting poised to eat the little baby. But the baby already knows that it's got to run for its dear life to get off that beach and up onto the cliff before the snakes eat him. So it's like, well, you know what, we do inherit some of our intelligence through our ancestry or through our DNA. So there's already a known intelligence that we are born with.
Yeah.
And it's tapping into that, and then you're able to then equip yourself for that, you know, get out of Dodge pretty quickly and into safety. So I would say willingness to step into the unknown is your first point, and that will open the door to the next stage, to equip you with what you need in order to actually experience that unknown. And asking for assistance, which is connection with other humans to guide you or support you in that journey, is then the next bit. It's all part of it. It's not a one-man journey either. It's a collective in the end.
You know, one thing, what you asked, we are just closing by, passing one by one. One thing is, if a person is living in a fear about the future or something's going to happen, you know, he's completely gripped in the fear, life will prepare him somehow. Life will bring him out, you know. But before life brings him out, if I go sit with him and tell him you should not live in fear, it will not go even 1 inch. You know, it doesn't work. It never worked. But for a person who has already realized this, okay, I know I'm controlled by fear and I need some help. There are so many tools available. You know, there are so many books. There are so many practices to get familiar with the uncertainty. The best thing I would say is to go into the nature. You know, not in a controlled nature where the path is marked, but at least try to go into the wild nature. You will feel that energy of uncertainty in your body. You know, it feels like fear in the beginning, but it's not. It feels very wild, raw energy in the body, the intelligence kicking in. You know, so once you start getting used to this energy, you will come back to your structured life, and you feel something is missing there. You know, that's a very beautiful way of doing it for me. That's why going for hikes, doing something in the nature is always connecting people back to the raw life.
It's a reminder of where we've come from. But we're doing quite well. There's no genuinely marked path in front of us. There's one behind us, but we'll just ignore that.
So,
What do you recommend, Luke?
It is definitely, it's your own effort. It's never gonna just happen one day. You wake up and you're okay. and have the fear, or you just leave in uncertainty with peace. But it is something which you need to decide for yourself. And for me, one of my ways was it's just playing, allowing myself to be a childlike, and make mistakes and do things which are silly or whatever feels in the moment. Yeah, allowing life to be, and yeah, just playing whatever I want to do, whatever I haven't done before. I was holding myself back. I started doing it, even though it was really uncomfortable. So it's like a muscle. You build it. You just do it again and again and again until it becomes normal. Yeah, but it's your own effort, I would say.
Yeah, you make a really good point, isn't it? I mean, look to our children, you know. We have a huge remembrance in what it meant, how special uncertainty was, you know, and I think holding it dear, you know, and what it's taught us through life, and how we should never ever miss the importance of embarking on new journeys, regardless of where you are in your lifetime. I think that's what shaped us, that's what builds, that's who you are, that's where your character comes from. Probably part of your whole ego is based in and around what you've embarked on before. So I think is there, coming back to the point, is there ever any certainty in what we do?
It's all illusion.
But enjoy it while we can, you know, and keep seeking for the certainty through uncertainty.
It's a play.
Play.
To quote our closing circle last night.
Exactly.
It's a play.
Let's not lose that. So.
But yeah, I think that's the whole point, because I was just observing Teo going head first down that sand dune. And I was thinking, well, I could do exactly the same thing, but what's going through my mind is I can't be bothered. I'm going to end up with a load of sand everywhere, and I don't want to clean up.
I'll have to wash them.
There's nobody to do it for me.
That is so
There's something stopping you, yeah, that's the voice.
And then I'm like, oh God, here we go.
You gotta do it now then.
Yeah, but I will.
I thought of doing
take
actually
the
diving into the sand, you know.
Well, I have done that, but that hurts.
But I thought, okay, we have a hike, so let's save it for
Well, I was kind of thinking, you know, I can be playful too. Like I will roll down the hill of grass or whatever. It's less messy. And then you know, when you roll.
Wanna try?
and gosh.
Push me.
Why don't you show me how
It's a willingness, you need
I
to
don't
go
wanna,
back.
I have to go without shower for 2 days, so I'm preparing myself.
That's another voice
For
inside
sure,
of you
delete.
preparing you, yeah?
I don't know what happened to you. Oh, it's not December anymore. 1st of January.
Alright guys, let's go have breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay, men, fire.
Man
Okay.
on fire.
Let's close the circle with 1 minute of silence.
Let's do it.
Oh, you know, I just want to say
Oh,
one
sorry.
thing. I think a lot of this uncertainty versus certainty is somehow disappears when we are connected to nature,
Mm-hmm.
but also we're connected to our own nature and in the nature of other people. So when we allow ourselves that time to connect with nature, that time to connect with our inner nature and our inner guidance, that those things that were once uncertain just become real, and they just become what is, and that helps navigate that which we call uncertainty. That mutual connection and our inner connection within and without.
So, let's sit comfortably. Just close your eyes. Start by observing the sounds. Try to feel the temperature of your skin. your skin is responding to the breeze. Try to feel what your body is experiencing in this moment. It's a combination of the sounds, the breeze, where you are. What do you feel in this moment? Who is enjoying this feeling? Thank you for sharing these beautiful moments together.
New beginnings.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy welcoming uncertainty.
Yes. It's certain that 2020 is behind us.
Let's grow the muscles to deal with uncertainty.
It's okay though, we can deal with 2021 irrespective.
Yeah.
Let's go make the fire.
Stop record. Stop record.
So like I did it long back.
Stop recording. Oh, well.
They didn't record.
Stop recording.
You talk about sexuality, look what I did.
Haven't started.
I like that. Humor. Sense of humor, universe.
Okay, Osho. Stop recording.
I don't think it was recording.
Oh, it's recording.
You're such a brave